Welcome back again to another episode of BodyMore Bottles, another Black History Month episode. Today we're going to do what I'd like to call a little celebrity edition. Got two beers, a liquor, and a little experiment at the end. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First on the slate, we got here from Calvert Brewing Company. It's a brewing company from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. It's close to D.C. I say in between D.C. and Annapolis. We got, it's not a Calvert Brewing Company is not a black-owned, black-operated brewing company. But by the name of this, I'm taking it as inspired by somebody who was not necessarily black, but so ingratiated in the black culture, he might as well have been black. We got I Just Crush a Lot, Tart Fruit Ale, Blood Orange. Got to be inspired by Big Pun. If you don't know who Big Pun is, just do your research. Find out. It's a rapper, Puerto Rican rapper from New York, back in the 90s. Had the classic album, Capital Punishment. If you don't know about him, go check him out. Listen to some of his music. Go do your research. But the line, I Just Crush a Lot, comes from the edited version of Still Not a Player featuring Joe. Says it's a tart fruit ale brewed with blood orange, 5.5% alcohol, 12-ounce can. Not too much else on it, but a fist with some blood oranges. The words I Just Crush a Lot made me want to get it. So, let's crack it open and see what it's hitting for. Let's see if they did Big Pun justice here. Already, you can see the carbonation. Let's get a pour. Heavy carbonation. We might have to pour some of that out. Alright, we're back after the pour out. Let's get a good pour this time. There we go. As we can see by the pour, very light in color. Still heavy on the bubbles. I don't really do too many pours when I'm just drinking by myself. I drink it straight out the can of the bottle. But let's let it cool down for a second. So there you can get the color. It's very light. Let's see if we can get a nose through all this carbonation. Yeah, I'm getting that citrus, orange. I'm getting more grapefruit than orange. Hoppy. Not too much else. Let's get a taste. Very tart. Reminds me of a sour. I'm still getting more grapefruit than blood orange. It's a little bit of orange in there, but the tartness makes me think grapefruit. I'm not gonna lie. That's the second one I had. I always, like I said, I always try to get an initial taste before I come on here and taste it. The first one, I didn't really like it too much. Second go around is much better. The first one tasted more like a sour, I guess because of the tartness, but I'm getting more of the ale this time. It's not bad. Not really my cup of tea. Not what I would go to. I would get it once just because, like I said, I see I like to crush a lot. I just crush a lot. The first thing I'm going to think of is Big Pun. They got my money off of that alone. First go round, I was leaning in towards maybe a 1.5, 1.75. I give it a solid 2.25 after that, after the second go around. Now let's go to the second one. Second beer we have here is from Burley Oak Brewing Company, Berlin, Maryland. Berlin, Maryland is on the eastern shore, close to Ocean City. A double IPA, 8.8% alcohol by volume. The name of this is Coogee Sweater. Now, when you see a Coogee Sweater, you think of Coogee Sweater. One came to mind as soon as I saw this can, and that's the Notorious B.I.G. This brewing company isn't black owned and operated, but when I did my research on them, a lot of their beers have hip hop inspired names. They have a series called Dream, but it's spelled with a J instead of a D. JREAM stands for Juice Rules Everything Around Me. Paying homage to Wu-Tang, Cream, Cash Rules Everything Around Me. Had a couple of, I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but they had a couple of, one of them I think was Gucci Flip Flops. Title of the beer. I read an article with the owner. They asked him about what music they would like to play, and he said anything Lil Tunechi. Him calling him Lil Tunechi instead of Lil Wayne. You can tell he's inspired by hip hop, which makes me lead me to believe that this Coogee Sweater is inspired by Big. I appreciate that because one thing I noticed when I'm going looking for beers, especially this month, you see a lot of beers with fruits on the cover, or maybe if you see a person that's a white person, or animals. It's hard to find a beer with a black person on it or anything inspired by black people. So when you see something like this, you've automatically got my money. Good packaging. That's what the first thing that catches my eye. That's what's going to make me want to buy it. So let's give it a crack. Let's give it a pour. Check the color on that. Golden brown. Let's see what we get on the nose. A lot of citrus coming through. That's what's mainly hitting me in the face right now is the citrus. Some hops maybe. Let's give it a taste. For it to be a double IPA, 8.8%. It's very smooth. Hoppy. Citrusy. From what I read, that's what this brewery likes to do, is they like to mix sours and different fruit infused beers. I can taste the citrus on this double IPA. A little creamy, maybe oats. It's a good bit. Came in the 16-ounce cans. I think it was a 4-pack. Probably about $15, $16. They get my money again. Even if I couldn't find the Coogee sweater, if I see anything else from Burley Oak Brewing Company, anything that's I would usually drink, I give it a try just based off of that. I give that a solid 4. Solid 4 out of 5 on that beer. Now, our last thing that we're going to be trying here today in our celebrity edition of Black History Month is the Teremana Tequila. Reposado, not too sure how you say it. I'm not a tequila guy. But as you probably know, Teremana is made by The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you don't know who he is, do your Googles. The Rock is quite possibly, arguably, the most famous WWE wrestler, famous wrestler period in the world. Half black, half Samoan. Black enough for us to call him a black man. His father was Rocky Johnson, the soul man Rocky Johnson, I should say. Don't get no blacker than that. He was, soul man Rocky Johnson was the first black man to hold the WWE Tag Team titles. The Rock was the first black WWE champion. Now, if you look and see how long the WWE back then, even back to WWF, has been around, for them to just make The Rock the first black champion in the 90s, that tells you how over he was. They wouldn't have put it on him if he wasn't making money. You can look up all his other accolades, first black WWE Royal Rumble winner, all those type of things. You know, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm a wrestling fan, but some people might not like it because it's fabricated physicality. But the guy became a household name off of it. Then he ventured out in the movies with The Mummy Returns, Scorpion King, Tooth Fairy. Then he ventured off into, he found his lane in action movies, Fast and Furious and all that. And he became the highest paid action movie star in the world. So we're going to celebrate The Rock here today with this Teremana. Let's see what it says on the back. Agave, 100% Blue Weber Highlands. Roasting in a brick oven. The stills that were used were copper pots. Aged in oak barrels. 96 calories per 1.5 ounce. So about every drink you make is going to be about 96 calories. No carbs, no sugars, gluten-free. Mana, Gratitude, Tequila. On the front, you see small batch tequila. The bottles are numbered. Distilled in handmade copper pots. 100% pure agave, made in Mexico. They do have another offering, which is the Blanco, which is the white liquor, straight clear. Let's crack it open and see. Like I said, I'm not really a tequila guy, so I don't know how this is going to go. This is outside of my wheelhouse. But for Black History Month, let's celebrate The Rock. A black man with his own liquor. Get a nose. That's tequila. I can smell the oak barrels that it was aged in. I smell a little vanilla. It's a note I can't quite put my finger on. But if you look at the cover art, it looks like Mexico. You see the mountains, the desert, those agave plants growing. Yeah, I'm getting oak, vanilla. Maybe that's agave. I'm not too sure. I never smelled agave. But it's another note I can't quite put my finger on. Let's get a taste and see what it's saying. Cheers. That's smooth. That's a smooth tequila. A nice, warm chest feel. Doesn't last too long. I say a medium finish. A little vanilla. That's a good tequila. Like I said before numerous times already, tequila isn't my spirit of choice. But I could go with that. I could do that. What I'm getting on the air is The Rock and Wyclef Jean. It doesn't matter. It's like, nah, I'm not going to be that corny with it today. What I get on the air with that is Tupac, I Ain't Mad At You. Because tequila is not my cup of tea, but I ain't mad at the Terramana. Now for the experiment that we got going here. Just following The Rock on Instagram. I see for his cheat meal, he likes to make these thick Texas toast size French toast for his cheat day meal. And what he uses is maple syrup. But he infuses the maple syrup with his Terramana. So I'm going to make a mixed drink here today. Let me get the table in front so y'all can see what I'm doing here. I got my glass with an ice cube in it. A little bit of ice to melt it. We're not going to waste that water. Got my Terramana. And what I did was I made some simple maple syrup. If you know how to make simple syrup, what you do is you get some sugar, some water, about equal parts, half cup sugar, half cup water. Mix it together in the pot over medium heat until the sugar dissolves. You let it cool down. Boom, you got simple syrup. What I did was I took some brown sugar, some maple syrup, put it in some water, whipped it up, let it cool. I got maple simple syrup. So what we're going to do is do something equivalent of for what The Rock does for his cheat day. We're going to pour some Terramana. We're going to pour some of this. Don't want it spilling everywhere because it's to the brim. Some of this maple simple syrup. And what mixer goes good with breakfast? You eat breakfast, what you drink? Orange juice. I don't have no orange juice here today, so we're going to use a substitute for that. Another citrus drink that goes well with breakfast. Pineapple juice. We're going to top that off. Give it a little mix. Now, while I'm mixing this, I'm going to explain to you why I came to the name that I came to for this drink. The Rock has, like I said, I used the maple simple syrup because that's what The Rock uses for his cheat day. He mixes terramana with his syrup, put on his French toast. It's his cheat day meal. When The Rock was wrestling and cheated, it was because he was a heel. When he was a heel, he wasn't the people's champion. He was the corporate champion. So that's what I named this drink, the corporate champion. It's mixed up well. Let's take a drink and see how it tastes. Cheers. That's delicious. I get the maple coming through. Really no tequila taste. Pineapple. Maple aftertaste. Tastes like a cup of breakfast to me. The corporate champion right there. Try it at home. Terramana. Maple simple syrup. Pineapple juice. You can try it with orange juice or apple juice, whatever you like for breakfast to go with your French toast. Go ahead and try it. Let me know what you think. Mix it how you want. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, at Vonzarelli. Hit up, follow, like, message, whatever. The show, BodyMore Bottles. Let me know what you think about the drink. Try it at home. Send me pictures. Tag us in it. Once again, it's me, Vonzarelli, a.k.a. Justin Toxicated. Another episode in the books. Thank y'all for coming through. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And don't forget, body them bottles. Peace.